Good afternoon. Welcome to Final Presentations at GCE. You are in the Blue Line group. I am recording this presentation so everyone knows and that it is no secret. Before we get started, there are a couple of ground rules I would like to go over. The first is everyone should mute their microphones if they are not presenting. The second rule is if you have questions about a person's presentation, please wait until the end to ask those questions and do not interrupt the presenter. You may also use the chat box, but we're going to ask that you wait until the presentation is over and the presenter solicits questions before you start typing those questions into the chat box. We have 4 presenters today. They're each going to take about 3 to 4 minutes to present, and then we're going to have about the same amount of time for questions for a Q&A session. I just want to thank these presenters for putting together these presentations to represent their work over the last 10 weeks. It's been really hard in this difficult situation that we find ourselves, but you guys are persevering and we love it. So, first up, we have Brandon, who is going to present snapshots of the world around me. So, yeah, Brandon, if you would like to present your screen now, that would be wonderful. It's on you.
All right, hello. So I'm going to present now. So for my final presentations, I decided to tour around my neighborhood and sort of reflect on the past few months and compile a little video just detailing my experience and what I think. So I'm going to play that now. This term was rough. Nobody could have ever predicted the past 2 months, and honestly they kind of hit me like a truck. Well, not like a truck, but more like a Mini Cooper. And yet I managed to pick myself up again. I'm not the only one, of course. My friends and kids all around the world share pain during this time. I've decided to share some footage of the world I live in. This is my neighborhood, North Park. It is largely residential, but it has some nice parks and a few restaurants. I've never actually looked at it from the perspective of urban planning until I took the course this year, and I feel it is fairly well planned, but I would like to see more support for bikes and even skateboards. I also feel a bit isolated from everyone else. Maybe it's just the pandemic, but I'd like to see more togetherness. I started this term not really being all that concerned about COVID or isolation and thought that we could just figure something out and it would be all good. But after around 3 weeks, the isolation started to get to me. I missed all the people that I used to see every day, and I was panicking over the fact that I am going to be a senior next year and going to college. I only visited friends a total of 3 times, and I never realized how much I needed them. I kept attending class and doing what I could, but after a slew of unfortunate events occurred, I felt powerless. I really felt as though I would never see the end of it. Yet here I am, writing the script for this video. And as I rode on my skateboard through the neighborhood, as you see now, it felt like my neighborhood remained static. Things went on as they normally did. It was quite quiet, and it made it feel mundane and boring. It did not help things. But now I'm starting to appreciate some things about it, like the giant park and nature center and the Korean restaurants on Bryn Mawr. I was looking forward to things returning to normal, but things could definitely be better. I feel that there should be more community in my neighborhood, but at the same time, I feel like the advantages that my neighborhood has should not be exclusive to my neighborhood. I know that my city is aching, and I want to do something about it. Looking forward, I want to make the best of my senior year. I still feel sort of robbed of my last months of junior year, and I can't even imagine how cheated the seniors felt. I realized that my high school experience is precious and that I should use every opportunity and every second to better myself, create bonds and memories, and change the world. Thank you. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate that. So we're gonna take a few minutes for Q&A. Do any of you guys have any questions that you would like to ask Brandon about his presentation? Because I have a couple of questions, but I was gonna let you guys go first. All right, since you don't have questions. First question, Brandon. Where do you say you live?
North Park.
North Park. Okay. Okay. Now I have a question. You said that you visited friends 3 times during the last 10 weeks or so?
Yeah.
Okay. So was that because was that your choice not to visit because you were trying to self quarantine and respect the isolation, or was that they were trying to self quarantine? Because I asked that question because my daughter is constantly asking me to go over to her friend's house, and her friends are constantly asking to come over here, so they're not really doing the social isolation thing that
hmm
well. And so, like when they do visit, it's just like, okay, you guys have to sit out in the grass and stay 10 feet apart. So I'm just asking, like, what was that your choice for that?
For me, I think it was just a mixture between what my parents allowed me to do, and I sort of wanted to respect the COVID laws.
Okay. You also mentioned about trying to make the city a better place. Can you think of one concrete thing that you feel like you want to do that came out of this whole situation?
I definitely want to engage in more activism once this whole thing blows over, and I want to really campaign for better urban design.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I saw you mention the thing about the skateboards and the biking lanes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, all right. You guys have any questions for Brandon? All right, thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate your presentation. That was inspiring. Thank you. All right, next up, we have Brooklyn Denman, who is going to present us with snapshots of positive vibes. So I'm going to turn it over to Brooklyn.
1 minute, guys. I'll be ready in 1 minute for all of y'all. Oh, dang it. Okay. It should be ready. Good morning, everyone. I hope every single one of you is doing okay out here. Okay, 1 minute. It's just loading. So, okay, now we're good to go. Can y'all see it? Okay, good. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Brooklyn Dimon, and um, for my final presentations idea, I've decided to focus on the positive things about the term, whether it's inside of class or outside of class. And not only that, I'm going to be a rising senior in the upcoming fall of 2020 and will graduate next year. And so for this presentation, I'm going to be focusing on the positives about this situation and what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. And yes, so without further ado, let's get started. So, um, what you'll be expecting from this slideshow is that you'll get to see several snapshots that capture memorable moments through photographs and screenshots I've taken inside and outside of the term. And they basically focuses on things like field experiences, projects, and much more. I hope you enjoy checking out my photos as much as I did from creating this awesome slideshow. And let's get started. Okay, so field experience, the World Fair. So this was a very impactful field experience to me because, oh, it's basically called the World of Virtual World's Fair, and it was sponsored by Chicago Detours, and basically in this FE we got to take a look at the World Fair from 1983 to now, and during this tour we got to see pictures, we got to learn some fun facts, and there's a lot of like old drawings from the 1890s. My bad, I was about to say 1980, but 1890s. This is the other way around. So this is a very impactful FE that me and my classmates went on this year. Virtually traveled on this year. Next slide. And so for Spanish class, I was asked to choose a food, whether it was dessert or anything. Whether it was for dessert, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And it could be from either Mexico, Argentina, Spain, or Peru. For my food, I've decided to do research El Dulce de Leche, and it's basically a dessert made from caramel, vanilla, and milk, and it originates from Latin America. And as you can see here, there are so many desserts named after this treat, and it's also good for breakfast, especially if you put on pancakes or waffles or muffins. So that would be pretty cool. And also, one time I went to Mariano's and I bought a El Dulce de Leche fudge. When I tried it for the first time, it tasted very good. And prior to the beginning of the spring term of this term, I celebrated my seventh. I made 17 on the 6th of April, which is my birthday. And although I wasn't able to go out, I wasn't to go anywhere special for my birthday, I was able to receive calls and messages from the people who care and love me and ate delicious food like Chick-fil-A, for example. And as you can see, I've made 17 since April 6th, and happy belated birthday to me. Anyway, my good luck charm. A good luck charm is a character figurine from one of Disney's movies called Winnie the Pooh, and his name happens to be Piglet. So Piglet is a pink, tiny, and adorable character who has positive energy and a friendly smile. And I've had this figurine when I was 2 years old. I've chosen Piglet as my good luck charm because he motivates me to become a great person. And lucky enough, I have like more than one Piglet figurine at home. So if I ever lost one of these, I know that I have another one at home. And also it was a part of the spirit group we've had a few weeks ago, and I had to take a picture of a good luck charm, and he happens to be one of them. And AP success. An AP that I'm very pleased with was the third one in my STEM course, Urban Planning with Adam, which was taught by Adam. For this AP, I was asked to choose an area to redesign. I chose Kennedy Park because it needed a couple of essentials. So basically, I suggested something like the dog park. And in case you don't know where Kennedy Park is, it's this park in the Beverly Morgan area on the southwest side of Chicago. So check it out anytime you want. And anyway, after I spent some time working on this project, it just goes to show that hard work really pays off. And if you would like to learn more about my post, please click the link in the slide and feel free to check it out on your own. And more other memorable moments I would like to share with you all is that, as you can see on your right, you'll see a grand piano, which I've gotten like 3 or 4 years ago. And for the piano picture, I signed up for the talent show, which happened like 2 weeks ago, and I was playing "The Greatest Love of All" by Whitney Houston. And on your left, you'll see figurines. So as you may not as you may or may not know, I'm a big fan of Disney, and I've decided to put like Disney figurines and Nickelodeon characters on the TV tray. And those are the photos that made me happy this term. And that's about it. Any questions? Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Brooklyn. Does anyone have any questions before I start? I have a couple of questions for Brooklyn.
Okay.
Anyone have questions? Okay.
I sorry. I wanted to ask why you chose Piglet. Because he's a very anxious character in Winnie the Pooh, and you don't come off to me as an anxious person.
Oh. So basically, I chose Piglet because I thought that he was a great character and I could connect with him. And I felt like, so when I was 2, when I first got him, he was just so adorable. I felt like I really need to carry with him, and I'll show you. I'll be right back. This is Piglet, and he's adorable. And that's why I decided to carry with me. So he's basically like a good luck charm.
Okay, so you chose Piglet not for his personality, but because of the way he looks?
No, not that, but I felt like he looks very happy and he's very sweet, in my opinion. So when I first got him when I was 2, he was just so adorable. And I thought, I think he can help me get through this.
Okay, okay. I'm just like, because I had the same question that Jimena had, because Piglet is always worried about something, and you don't seem like you worry very much. Like his personality is not the same as your personality. I see you more of a as a Tigger type, but like that overwhelming positivity all the time. So
that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
so it's cool. It's cool. I was just wondering. Also, all right. So I'm gonna go back to your birthday.
Yes.
So you had to celebrate your birthday during quarantine, and you didn't necessarily have the big fanfare that that accompanies birthdays for the most part. You were okay with that?
I only got like food and calls from people and messages. So I didn't get to go like anywhere like a restaurant downtown or something like that. So it wasn't very special this year. So we did like I said, people were calling me and texting me, wishing me a happy birthday. That was pretty cool.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Brooklyn, for your presentation of positive vibes. I must say, they were pretty positive, and it seems like you're making the best out of a really, I'm not going to call it a dire situation, but a really complicated situation. You're making the best of it. And that's one of the things I really love about you, is like this positive energy that you exude. So thank you very much for your presentation. All right, next we have Anjali, who's going to take us in a little different direction. Um, we have snapshots of boredom. How could you possibly be bored? We are going to see. All right, so we're going to turn it over to Anjali.
All right. Hi, my name is Anjali Sally. I'm a sophomore. So I did snapshots of boredom because at first there's a lot of things to do, and like before quarantine and during quarantine, you are stuck basically, and you're bored and you don't know what to do in life. Basically, that's what I'm in my opinion. You don't know what to do in life, so you just make something, and it shows. For me, in my opinion, it shows how bored I am. So I will start presenting now. Hold on. Can I already see it loading? Can you guys see it? Okay. So basically, I had a brown desk for like about 2 to 3 years, and since quarantine, and my birthday was also during quarantine, I wanted to renovate my whole room, so I changed my bed frame into a black bed frame, and I was trying to match my desk, my brown desk, into the matching of the black. So my mom helped me paint my brown desk black, and my mom was like, "Go ham on whatever you need to do." So I took that to an advantage, and I made my desk to look like this. So the top part, which is on the bottom left, is just me doing whatever. Like you could see the edge is a smiley face, and I can just there's a bunch of drizzle of paint and everything because there's a there's a lot going on. Like in my opinion, there's a lot going on, and that's how it describes it. Like the yellow, the blue, the dark blue, and the purple just makes it like crazy, basically. So, and then on the bottom right, there is my inspiration of Jackson Pollock. I'm sorry, not James Pollock, Jackson Pollock. And he's like a really good artist, and I really am inspired by him, by his abstract art and how, like, messy it is, yet it looks, like an organized mess. So, on the top right, I have like what I call a tie dye. I wanted to be a tie dye, like blues and purples are basically um more. They're more like tranquil. They're more tranquil, and you put them in splatter paints and all that, and make it all messy. You're like, what is it? What is it? But you're like, basically like tranquil, but yet it's crazy. And then the drawer or the cabinet on the top left is basically my handprints climbing up to the cabinet, making me like have that idea that my hand is basically climbing up to open the drawer or the cabinet. I'm sorry, the cabinet. So like it's boredom, but yet it doesn't show it. But in my opinion, it's boredom, and that's mostly it.
All right, thank you, Anjali, for your presentation. I did not know that you were an artist, so I have questions about that. But before I start talking, I will ask our audience. Do you guys have any questions for Anjali and her about her presentation?
Actually, I do.
Go ahead.
So, Jelly, were there any other things that you did to attack the boredom? Anything else, like playing a musical instrument, for example?
No, I'm pretty bad at playing music. So that's like the only main project other than just like painting on my canvases, and that's it. That's like that project was like my biggest one out of all of them.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, I have a couple of questions for you. All right. How long have you been painting?
It's mostly I don't. My dad says it's hereditary because my great grandma did it, and my grandma did it, and my dad does it. So like I've been painting since like I was able to paint like 1 or 2 years old. So like I started with finger paints, and now I'm up here with using like acrylics and oil paints.
Okay. Cool. And so you said that Jackson Pollock, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Was one of your you find him inspiring. Are there any other artists that you particularly care for?
Well, I can't get some of them off the top of my head. Usually, like your usual Vincent Van Gogh, and like like the realistic arts and so on. But I can't like get one artist on the top of my head. It was she's a recent artist. She paints black females, and then when their hair looks the same, and when she does her hair, when she does the black female's hair, she actually uses like braiding hair or actual hair, and I find that very inspiring.
Why?
Because it shows how like first like I like how she uses like the different tones of like colors that she uses, and it's out of the ordinary or out of the box, knowing that she uses like actual hair to represent the hair of the paint, of the painting.
Okay. All right. So do you have any of your work framed or anything like that?
I do. I have some of them framed on my hallway. My mom did that.
And what do you think every time you walk by it and see it?
I personally don't like it, but my mom's like, "Oh my God, I love it. I love it." So I guess it's good. I don't know. I just do it because, I have the time to do it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing that part of yourself. I did not know that you were an artist, that you are an artist. So that's a very cool thing to learn about you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. All right. Last but not least, we have Jimena, who is going to be giving us snapshots of change and permanence. So let's dive into that dichotomy. Jimena, take it away. Jimena, your mic is off.
Sorry. Let me pull it up. Boop. All right. Can y'all see? I'm gonna assume that was a yes. So for this term, we were asked to collect snapshots of our time in quarantine, of our time in virtual class, and how it's impacted us. And one of the biggest things that came to mind when doing this was how much things have changed yet stayed the same. This quarantine has been a huge change for people, and it might not be a permanent one, but it's been one that has heavily affected how we all function and work. And I had to look past all of the changes to see that a lot of things remained the same too. And I compiled this little video of my little snapshots, so I'm going to play that. Yeah,
Woo!
thank you. There's this a little conclusion I wrote, but I can give you an adapted version. Basically what I said in the video, I realized that I'm gonna have to get used to change. And we're all gonna have to get used to changing and adapting, and it's not gonna be easy at all. It might be the most difficult thing in our lives to adapt, but we can't stay stagnant. Humans are not made to be stagnant. We're ever changing, just like the same river will never flow the same again, or something like that. You'll never be the same person ever, and maybe take advantage of that. Change yourself for the better. Dye your hair a weird color. Shave it off. I don't know. It just everything is going to change, so you might as well change it yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jimena, for your words of wisdom. Do we have any questions for Jimena? All right, I have a couple of questions. I think, was that Maeve I saw in your video?
Yeah,
Are you spending a lot of time talking with them?
yeah. They're back from college, and we've been talking. They got some new snails as pets. They're really cute.
I don't know about a snail for a pet, but okay. To each his own, I guess. All right. So, what compelled you to shave your head? I think about that every now and then, but I think I have a funny shaped head, so it always stops me.
No, that's what I thought too. And I don't know, one day I was sick of myself. I was sick of looking at myself. So I was like, you know what? You know what? I'm just gonna shave it off. I'm gonna do it. And if I hate it tomorrow, I could just wear a hat. I don't care. No one's gonna see me except for in class, and I could just wear a hat. And it's been pretty cool. Your head isn't actually that oddly shaped. I thought I had a weird hexagon looking head. But I don't. And I don't know, it's been really freeing to not have to worry about my hair all that much.
Which is one of the reasons I put my hair in dreadlocks, so I wouldn't have to comb it and I wouldn't have to do all that sort of stuff, and it's fine. But I'm always fascinated by women who shave their hair, or females, or I don't know, like, I know you don't identify like that, but whatever. Um,
Yeah, I get it.
Female appearing people who shave their heads. They fascinate me, because I think I think it's such a courageous thing to do, because of how society looks sideways at them. So I think it's pretty. I think that's pretty cool. That's all. That's
Yeah,
all I'm trying to say.
I like it as a statement too. Like society wants hair on your head, not on your legs.
Yeah, that is true. And I
So
don't shave my
shave it off your head and don't shave your legs.
legs. Indeed, indeed, indeed. So, anyone else have any questions? All right. Well, that is going to conclude our final presentation for the Blue Line. What I am going to do is encourage you to go into other classrooms, other lines, to jump on other trains and to see what's going on in their rooms. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for sharing and for being vulnerable and putting yourselves out there. All of the presentations were great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you around, young people. Bye.
Like, do you know how to get on the other trains?
You can go
I
to the
don't know.
BC website, and there's a big thing that says hop on.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Sharon. Oh.